Oh, well, thanks. The Cyderbaby show here at Corner of the World 2023 with Ashen Reach. Hi, guys.
Hello.
Hello.
We spoke in the autumn, didn't we?
We did.
Yes, in dark and murky room in the Saltash.
Yeah. Townsend's mixing desk room.
That's right, yeah. Some things have changed since then.
A little bit.
Well, a little bit. But you're a four-piece now.
Yeah.
So you're relying on a bass track now, backing track?
Yeah.
We got like sample pad because we've got like with like the new single Ghost, there's like an orchestral section and stuff like that. So we're using the bass to go with it as well.
Yeah,
Okay.
we've recorded bass onto that, haven't we? So.
Yeah.
So all the other tracks have got bass now, and then there's little textures that are from the actual
album and the
recordings.
singles.
So you just thought chuck them on anyway, and then obviously Ghosts, it'd be impossible to do that without it anyway. So
yeah,
regardless of the lineup change,
It would have still had the pad.
We'd have still had it.
Yeah.
But it just means we're gonna stick the bass on there now as well.
It means we can be tighter as well now because we can have that click going bing in our ears just to keep
It was
on.
that
very
exact
much
same noise as well.
Literally,
It's very much a gig of firsts today. So it was our first. It was our first time at Call the Wild. It was our first time playing Ghosts live. It was our first time with the sampler. First time with in-ear monitors. First time as a four-piece. First time playing to a click live. So
There's a lot of things to go wrong that fortunately didn't.
Yeah.
You know?
Okay, I mean, you've mentioned it a couple of times already. Ghosts.
oh yeah.
Yeah, just
Oh,
tell me, it's a
yeah.
stunning single.
Thank you
Oh,
very
yeah.
much. Thank you.
Thank you.
Tell me the story behind it.
We're watching Nuke's Top 5 on YouTube. Literally watching paranormal videos all the time, and it was just like an interesting topic to
Yeah.
write a song about.
Because our plan for obviously this EP, like that it's going to be on, is the fear. We've got just different themes. It might not necessarily all be like ghosts or like monsters. It's just things people are scared of. So it fit in quite nicely with the theme we wanted the EP to be, to have ghosts. So
Yeah, the single's out now.
it is
Yeah,
out now.
it's out. Yeah,
Yeah.
on everything,
Everything, everywhere.
everything, everywhere, just
All
wherever.
over.
Yeah,
Yeah,
you can't
Like
escape
a
it.
rash.
Yeah.
Like a heavy, chuggy rash.
Aww.
But one that Cream can't get shut
and that's enough for today.
I'm
Yeah.
speaking to you after
Yeah, we are absolutely everywhere. We're singing it through your letterbox and everything. You can't escape it now.
I wondered what it was. I thought it was some wind rattling, but obviously it was you trying to sing.
Yeah,
On my letterbox.
It was me
Kyle
just
said
going,
that-
listen to our new single.
It was great though, wasn't it? Because obviously that was the first time we played it live.
Yeah.
Like when it goes to like the stop before it comes
Did you
back
see
into the
it?
breakdown. Because people have been listening to it and singing it already. When we stopped, everyone else stopped at the same time, so it went
eerily
completely
silent.
quiet.
Yeah.
And then when it come back, everyone carried on. But it was awesome to have everyone join
Well, it wasn't,
in.
it wasn't eerily silent for us because we could just hear
One,
It was for me.
three.
Kyle.
It was for me.
Yeah.
Like,
not transitioned over yet.
yeah, I just heard it. Like, I went, did you see it? And next minute, no one made a sound. I was like, oh, wow. Okay. In a good way, though. Like, and then it just went, oh, and everyone was just like, ah. It was like, yes.
Kicks in so much harder.
You could just see the crowd just going,
They're waiting for it. They're waiting for it. You know.
hey.
Yeah, to get that kind of response with, like, you know, your new
Brand new
music.
single.
Yeah, your new music in 3 years, no less, really.
Yeah.
And you play it live for the first time, and, you know,
And we're not exactly Metallica or someone dead
Yeah,
famous, you know.
yeah.
We're pretty.
it couldn't have, the response was amazing.
Yeah.
Well, I'm going to say you say Metallica and you're not dead famous, but today I think you've drawn the biggest crowd so far at the festival.
It looked like that.
It
wasn't
did.
That's
did
really
seem
cool.
that way.
Yeah,
It was
pretty
madness.
big.
Everyone just kind of
everybody
went,
was there.
Yeah, it was awesome.
it was like, oh, okay, yay.
We do love to see that.
Yeah.
we do love to see that, you know.
Yeah, it was at the $5 bribe for each one of them.
No, because we don't have that.
No,
much
if
to
we
be
had
able to
it.
bribe everyone with a
I'm
five.
going to say it'd be quite a bit of money.
A high five bribe, maybe. But
There'd have been at least 60 quid out there.
it was just mad. Like,
Because it was, wasn't it? Even like before we went on, we were not thinking, oh, Well, yeah, there wasn't too many people there, but it didn't like put it down or anything. We thought it would just be a smaller festival, but then as soon as we went on and started it, everyone went like, ooh.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, it was mad.
Similar thing kind of happened at Steelhouse last year.
Oh my god, yeah.
We were the first on.
Sunday morning.
And then when we were getting ready, I think it was like 10-15 minutes before we do on, like, had a peek behind the curtain, and it was like
10 people.
Tumbleweed was like the only audience member there. And I came back into the curtain and was like, guys, let's just go on and have a good time. That's all that matters, you know. And then you were like, why? It's like, it doesn't matter, you know. Let's go out and have a good time. And then as soon as the intro tape played, we walked out, and just, wow, it was
a horde of
all
zombies.
those people had come out from literally nowhere. By the time when I poked my head out the curtain, he must have been on the way down, because there's no other reason for how they got there that fast.
It was
In
crazy.
droves
Yeah,
like
it was
that,
madness. So I remember looking out and there was about literally about 10 people, and I was a bit like, but I thought, it's Sunday, everyone's hungover, it's fine, we're just gonna have fun. And then we came out and there was like hundreds, and then it just became thousands. It was like, oh my lord.
Heartwarming though, isn't it? Like, because you just think we're just like a bunch of people just from Merseyside, just playing music we love and that we've written, and then people are coming out to see us specifically, singing the words back to us, buying the merch, just joining in, being lovely, and
amazing.
I don't know, it's just crazy. It's great though.
Yeah,
What blew my mind today as well is Ghost has only been out like 2 weeks.
2
weeks, something like that. And people knew it word for word already. Like, and I mean, they were singing it loud and proud. Not even like going, easy.
Well, I mean,
I got them all right today. I was worried. Not gonna lie, I was going, I'm there going, I remember the second verse, because when we rehearsed and a couple of times, I've gone, I forgot the words. You know, you just have a brain fart. You just like,
You had one job moment.
We did when I did that little video for Facebook and that. I was just like, it was like start from the second verse, because it was like the orchestral only version, and it's like the lyric is the air around me is so cold, and I just went, I always feel, and I went, that's not even what I'm doing.
And we had to start it again because we had the pad, so you can't even pause it and play it. We had to restart the whole thing to get up to the second verse.
If you're fortunate enough to get a set list at the end of the show, you know which one's Kyle's, because it's got the second verse that goes on the back.
Right, it's not got the second verse on. But in my head, as I'm singing it, in my head, it's going, the air around me is so cold, the air around me is so cold, the air around me is so cold. And I'm singing it, and I'm surprised I didn't say that already in the chorus, because it's just looping in my head to remember. And I was like, and I was like, yeah, I got it right.
Okay, so when's the EP likely to be out then?
End of the year. We're aiming currently for November, December, depending how quickly you can get the final mixes back for the rest of the songs.
And then record the last two as well.
We've got 3 recorded.
Throughout the year, we'll be drip feeding tunes, so we'll basically be like big fat teasers until it's due out. And then end of the year, it'll be out in its entirety.
Hopefully.
Oh, that's something to look forward to. So you're taking like the new approach, the Spotify approach, shall we? Just releasing a few tracks.
Adapt or die, innit?
Exactly.
That's the thing. You kind of got to do that. Like we were literally just saying about Spotify. You know, it's better or for worse. You know, it's a necessary evil kind of thing now when it comes to like streaming. You know, it leaves artists a bit like, well, a bit is an understatement. It leaves artists hard up, but at the same time, it's how it is now.
And it gets distributed.
You know, you'll just vanish if you don't keep up with it.
Later to the algorithm or perish.
Yep.
Yeah. I mean, back in the 60s, not that I remember it at all. But back in the 60s, it was always like singles. You know, there was hardly any albums. Like the Beatles are releasing single after single after single, then eventually moving on to albums.
Well, that's the thing. Like, you know, if you look at it through history, it is actually cyclical like that. Like singles up until 70s, really, you know, were the most consumed format of music. A and B sides, you know, albums. An album initially was only created for the purpose of having an entire artist's singles catalogue on a single disc. Like that's it. It wasn't like an event in itself. It was like essentially a compilation of an artist's singles up until that point.
Greatest hits of 1974.
There you go.
Yeah, that's that sort of thing. Yeah.
I mean, Anne used to mention that she had tons of you know, vinyls, and one of them was Breaking the Law. I think it was Metal Gods on the B-side of that. But like again, it's just another example of a single and not an album. I mean, the albums are few and far between, as far as you know. I think.
And also,
she had a bad.
Masterpiece.
Michael Jackson's Bad. She had an original one of them. That was probably the one album I saw in a collection.
Was that a statement or about the album?
Both.
Oh my god. Edit in a budum.
It was a good album.
It's also good releasing singles for like fee-wise for us, you know, because obviously to save up to do a whole album in one go, that's a lot more to save up than to do 2 or 3 songs at a time to go in and record it. You're still doing it. It still works out a similar amount, but it's over time, so it's not as hard hitting in one go.
It's also good that each song gets a month or 2 to get the love it deserves to be shown. Because if you release just a big dump of songs, there's always going to be those few that have load more views than get lost, and then the others get lost in the ether. And it's nice to give every song a moment in the spotlight for people to absorb and enjoy, and then move on to something else afterwards.
Yeah.
I think it takes away the filler tracks as well, because you always used to get tracks that were a bit meh and whatever. Even Dio. I mean, I love Dio. A couple of tracks on each album, well, maybe not really. But a couple of tracks on each album were always the filler tracks, the B-sides, shall we say. And now we're getting quality tracks. You're putting out something decent every time you put out a single.
And we're not really into the idea of, at least with our own music, people can do what the hell they want. Like, when it comes to our own stuff, without sounding too cheesy, it's all killer, no filler. It has to be that way. If it can't be that way, it's not getting put out, period.
If we wrote a song and it was just like, meh, that's all right, we wouldn't be releasing it, or we'd at least be doing loads of work on it until it wasn't meh anymore.
It's epic.
We don't want something out there that we're not fully happy with.
Even Ether, that's a minute-long track, but that wasn't like a filler track. That was to bridge the change of the vibes to the songs, because it was Pray, Ether,
and then
Holland. No, Pray, Ether, Here I Go. And obviously, if it went Pray into Here I Go, it's such a contrast of we were like, we need someone in between, so that's where Ether came from. And even then, that wasn't just like, oh, that's a filler. It's like, it's a vital part of the album, because it transitions the next song better.
Everything has a reason. It's short.
Flow.
Yeah.
Okay, well, I'm going to let you guys enjoy the sun a little bit more, and I'm going to burn a little bit more.
It's been punishing us. There's no enjoyment being had when it comes to the sun.
I think in this country, on the whole,
we're not genetically adapted to.
I've got Factor Million on right now.
My DNA.
Is it really?
Yeah, it's proper.
I crave the Arctic Circle.
We're not used to this in this country, but up north especially, this is like a real treat, seeing that yellow disc.
This isn't the light from my PC screen, so it's hurting me.
It feels like it's that sun in Super Mario 3 that tries to kill you. That's how I feel right now. It's like, there he is, the angry face sun.
You wouldn't think it was 93 million kilometres away from there.
It feels like it's 10 yards away.
Okay, guys, Ashen Reach, I wish you all the best with Ghosts. It's such a stellar track, and wish you all the best, and see you again soon.
Thank you very much.